Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's Bendy and the Ink Machine video, we take a look at a mysterious recording from everybody's favourite comic relief character, Wally Franks. In this recording we learn a number of things that we previously suspected but were never confirmed, as well as a few other minor details relating to the plot of Bendy and the Ink Machine and the world of Joey Drew Studios. This recording released on the Joey Drew Studios YouTube channel, so remember to go and subscribe there to keep up with future videos such as the one we are analysing here today. With that said, let's take a look at this new recording. The recording is dated March 5th, 1933, which is interesting as the last recording we received from none other than Joey Drew himself was dated February 10th, 1931. In this recording, Joey spoke of how he had big plans for the studio, with secrets cooking up and an expansion to make room for lots of new employees planned.
1931 is going to be an amazing year at Joey Drew Studios. We're growing, knocking out a few walls, putting in a few desks, and collecting the finest talent money can buy. Just too many secrets being cooked up in the kitchen. But what I can say is that big things are coming.
And we assumed this was just after the time that Henry originally left the studio too. So now we are skipping ahead just 2 years later, which means at the time of Wally recording this message, we can assume that these big changes have now taken place, and the ink machine is most likely built and incorporated into the studio. With that said, let's take a listen to what Wally has to say in this new audio log.
So here we are, another big day at Joey Drew Studios. A lot more people running around here these days, but for me, it's the same old dirty floors they always been. Just more feet messing them up now.
Wally sounds optimistic, expressing that it's another big day at the studio. He confirms there are indeed many new starters at the studio, most likely the artists Henry spoke of in Chapter 1, but also likely members of the R&D department found in Chapter 4 who were helping Joey with his secret experiments beneath the studio. While Wally as usual finds something to complain about, in this case all the extra feet scuffing up his freshly scrubbed floorboards, he does seem genuinely happy about one person in particular.
The only feet I don't mind tromping around here is Campbell's. She's good to me. I'll make sure I empty her garbage every day just to see how she's doing.
Miss Campbell is mentioned by Wally, who we must assume is Miss Susie Campbell, the original voice actress who portrayed Alice Angel in Joey's cartoons and later fell prey to Joey's nefarious schemes and was forever transformed into a monstrous version of said character. However, before this point we get the sense that she was a naive but kind-hearted person, and Wally only confirms this here. However, most interesting is the next part of this recording.
Speaking of which, I heard her talking with Sammy the other day. If I'd know better, I'd say there was magic there. But who am I to judge? I think they saw me looking though, so I just tipped my hat and said, see you later, I'm outta here.
As you can tell, this seems to confirm a previous theory of mine from a long time ago, where I spoke about how I believed Susie and Sammy have been involved romantically at the studio, and so may end up working together in Bendy Chapter 4. Now, the second part didn't pan out, but this seems to confirm that the music director and his singer were indeed involved in some kind of relationship at some point, and this audio log was Wally catching the first signs of a chemistry between the two of them.
Sammy says she may be as popular as Bendy someday.
We got hints at this during the game itself. Susie comments during one of the elevator rides in Chapter 3.
Sammy said I had talent. He was always a good liar. Still, he was once a very handsome man.
It also made sense why Miss Campbell was so heartbroken when she found Sammy with new voice actress Alison Pendle in the recording booth one day.
When I walked into the recording booth today, Sammy was there with that Allison. There's gotta be a way to fix this.
Perhaps it wasn't just Susie's attachment to the character of Alice Angel that got her so worked up, but also her lost connection with her former love, Sammy Lawrence, who she felt Allison was threatening to replace. This series of events twisted her and made her dual personality within her version of Alice such a prominent feature, eventually losing out on her humanity and once kind persona altogether as she was taken over by the darkness in her heart.
Are you ready to ascend, my little errand boy? The heavens are waiting. Do you really think I let you steal from me? Really think I just let you go?
But this isn't a theory video, right? Just an analysis of a recording, and it's interesting that this new audio log seems to date both the time frame when Susie Campbell and Sammy Lawrence first met, when Susie started at the company, and of course when Wally coined that famous catchphrase.
I'm outta here.
One final point is the date of the video itself, March 5th. The previous recording released on February 10th for Bendy's second birthday, announcing a second game in the franchise. This video also contains the hashtag Bendy will return. It could also be hinting at the next date. We are likely to see some news on Bendy from its developers at Kindly Beast and Joey Drew Studios. So remember to keep a watchful eye for more news coming out in the next few weeks from this particular YouTube channel. And that was our look at the new teaser for the new Bendy game, guys. Well, it might not actually be for the new Bendy game itself, and I'm going to talk about this briefly now in a more like chilled, unscripted discussion we're going to have at the end of this video. I generally like to throw these in at the end of these shorter videos, because basically what it allows me to do is obviously speak to you guys kind of in general about my thoughts outside of theories to do with these little things that are releasing. Now, this audio log obviously released much in the same ways as the ones that led up to the Chapter 5 release of, Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 5. If you remember last year, we had all these audio logs from Henry while he was imprisoned by Tom and Allison, and he was basically filling you in on the story between Chapters 4 and Chapter 5, and we got a lot of sort of secrets out of these messages if we looked into them, which we did. We obviously analysed all these messages, and then when Chapter 5 came out, obviously we found out that these audio logs had given us a lot of clues as to what was going to go on within the first half of the chapter at least. So with these new audio logs, if we have a look at them, well, at least the Joey and Wally ones that we have so far, we can see that the Joey one obviously came out and I believe was kind of hinting at the studio, the real studio, the Kindly Beast and Joey Drew Studios expanding, because we had a lot of tweets from people like Mike Mood and Meatley about their real life expansion to hire more people to work on these new Bendy games and whatever else they're working on. So I believe the Joey Drew one was sort of teasing that, but it was also of course teasing something new to do with Bendy, because we had the hashtag Bendy will return. Now with this Wally Franks one, it's obviously giving us some more character information to do with not only Wally but also Susie Campbell and Sammy Lawrence, and that's pretty cool. We find out about their sort of secret relationship they were probably having, which I've just been over in the theory portion of this video, and it's pretty cool that we're getting this extra info. But I think the most notable point in all of this, the fact we've had new info from Joey about the studio and new info from Wally about a relationship we had all sort of theorized over before, sort of between Susie and Sammy. And the interesting thing about this is that I think it's tying into the book they're going to be releasing, the Joey Drew Studios Employee Handbook. Now this book, if you don't know about it, it's been sort of up for pre-order for a long time on Amazon. I don't know if there's any other sites that are sort of pre-ordering it at the moment, but we do know it's a thing that exists. The creators of Bendy haven't really spoken about this book in any real detail at this point, and I think these teasers aren't for the new Bendy game per se, but rather they're leading in to the Employee Handbook announcement, where they're going to announce exactly what it is and of course the release date for this book and how much it's going to be priced at. I think basically over the next few weeks we're going to get more of these audio recordings showing a little bit more to do with the characters at the studio from Bendy and the Ink Machine, and it will lead into the release of this Employee Handbook, because the Employee Handbook is meant to basically give us more information about all the characters at the studio. That's the whole point of it. And what are these recordings doing? They're giving us more information about all the characters at the studio. They're giving us more lore, and that's exactly what this book is going to do. Now I'm really excited for this book because obviously it's going to mean that we can go back over some older theories where we didn't get full answers, and hopefully this book's going to provide those answers, or at least give us more information to theorize over. So expect new Bendy theories once this Employee Handbook drops and I've had time to read through it. And I think it's going to be a good companion piece that anybody who likes Bendy should look out for. At the moment, obviously, we haven't got any details about how much it's going to cost or when it's coming out, but I do believe that these teasers are leading into that announcement. Now, That said, it could be to do with a new Bendy game still. These recordings could definitely be leading into that. We do have this new tape recorder. It looks much better graphically. It certainly does look like something we might see in a sequel, you know, upgraded visual quality, which usually comes with a sequel. We don't know what this new Bendy game is going to be, but all the teasers we're getting at the moment certainly says that it is going to be a prequel, if this is in fact to do with a game, and that's what makes me think it's more to do with a handbook, because they've already said that the new Bendy game won't be a prequel, unless of course the creator is lying to us. You know, if Mike Mood, who is obviously the creator, is just, you know, trolling us and suddenly goes, hey, it is a prequel, perhaps, I don't know. But all of these little teasers we've had so far for the Bendy Will Return game, well, it certainly seems like it is a prequel if it's expanding on characters we already know about, and they have said in the past that they would like to cover more ground with these existing characters, so who knows what this new Bendy game is going to be, guys. I'm really excited for it though. Of course, this channel, we do a lot of Bendy stuff here, so I know you guys love it, and you know, the prospect of getting a new book to do with Bendy and a brand new game is pretty awesome. I don't believe the game will be out before next year, unless they go down the episodic route, of course. If they decide to release it episodically, which does work well for these theory type videos that I make, of course, and for building hype for the next chapter, but they have said like they might not do any more episodic releases. I know their new game, well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure their new game isn't episodic, it's just a one-off release. So I don't know about Bendy 2. Maybe it will release chapter by chapter, and if so, we might get a chapter later this year as a surprise, but if not, I believe the full game will release next year in 2020, which is what I predicted a while ago when I was talking about the future of Bendy. Either way, guys, this video has just been going over the Wally Franks audio log. It's quite a long one, I suppose, but at this point, just to go over a minute of audio, but we do have a lot to discuss with Bendy, obviously, and all these new things coming out. So obviously make sure you are subscribed to the Joey Drew YouTube channel. Make sure you give me a follow, subscribe to my channel, give this video a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think this is all about, of course. That always helps, and I do appreciate the support, guys. We're closing in on 300,000 subscribers. We might have even hit it by the time you watch this video, which is really crazy. So thank you for the support as always, and I will see you guys on the next video.